In the Raleigh plastics case, our Team 4 was able to identify a number of alternatives to some solutions to the problems and symptoms that we were able to notice. We've also established some pros and cons to those alternatives. One of the first alternatives that we noticed was, we could contact our bidder that won the contract and attempt to sell at least portion to them at a discount. If not, try to sell it to them at an above a potential higher price and try to make some sort of a profit off of it. This would help them shorten their delivery time. It would help us because we wouldn't incur the costs. So some of the pros was, the bidder buys all the products and the losses that we incur. We maintain a relationship, which is the most important with our supplier. The bidder buys portions and it relieves some stress. Maybe we can potentially use some of it for the future bid that we have. Some of the cons of this one is a complete loss could incur. We could only sell a portion of the supply. And, what's even worse, we could even be stuck with the product as a whole, trying to sell it to the next bid, not even knowing if we're able to do it. The second alternative that we had was just to return the resin and just hope that we wouldn't incur that much of a loss, that our supplier would be able to at least sell most of it, of the resin. But some of the pros, the big loss could be incurred, or the loss could be reduced. Our payment terms could be better because we do owe them at the end of the month. We could sell all the product, and that'd be great. Some of the cons, though, is if they don't sell the big portion of it, we incur a really, really big loss. And we could potentially lose the relationship, and then we could lose our reputation. Another alternative that we had was to just hold all the inventory and then hope another customer would buy. This is definitely something we were considering as a team. And some of the positive of this was, you could strike that big deal again. You could sell off all of it. If the bidder comes up short, you could step in and give the supply to the buyer, and that makes you and your relationship with them help up. Some of the cons, though, is you have increased inventory costs and potential loss due to spoilage, and not only that, customers could look at you negatively because you've been holding on to the inventory for so long. Another alternative we had was to give 50% of the inventory back to McFadden and sell for us, and then store and try to sell it to offset the cost. This will help us maintain the relationship with our supplier, and we could sell our portion, and it would help offset some of the loss. Some of the hesitation towards that is, it could spoil. Again, we lose our credibility because inventory is not what it's supposed to be. It's not up to par, and no one may even want to buy it. The biggest solution that I thought we thought that was the best solution was to give 50% back to the supplier, let them sell it, and try to set up some form of a payment plan. I think we would try to sell 25,000 tons of the inventory to the supplier that was chosen to complete the job, the other bidder. And it would help decrease their lead time, could help reduce their costs. If we have a better cost, we could be able to make a little bit of money to make up for some of the loss. But I think we would keep 50% of the inventory on hand as well. We do have another job that's coming up, and I think it's important that, if you can pitch that to the supplier or to the new buyer, that we've already got the inventory on hand and let's go, we can deliver right now. I mean, that could be very, very promising for the new bid. It'll reduce lead time and get them on track to be able to get products out quick. Some of the very big pros of this is you're able to get rid of at least 2/3 of your product. You already have the product for the new bid if you're able to win it. You maintain a relationship with the current supplier, which is absolutely essential. Maintaining these relationships is important. You have the potential to get rid of all the products, and that's ultimately what the goal is with what's going on. Some of the cons, though, is the supplier may have chosen their own supply, so that might be thrown out the window. A loss could be incurred if you lose the second bid. You could lose the entire bid and be stuck with all of this inventory, especially if our supplier is not able to sell any. And so I think that this is probably, though, the best option, because you're giving yourself a lot of room to make some decisions for the future. And so now we're going to give some recommendations, our recommendation.